Hello everybody and welcome to this walkthrough. We're going today to walk through a demo. This is the AI Playground demo from Ampere. This is a set of Docker applications that are being made available through a Grid.io based launcher if you want to use the graphical version. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to start an Oracle A1 instance running Ampere CPUs under the hood. It's going to be a 64K instance. We're going to use, I think, 256 gigs of memory. And in that instance, we're going to do some configuration. We're going to install some prerequisites. And then we are going to try out 3 different AI workloads. Those 3 workloads are an LLM chat powered by Llama, object detection, so a video analysis workload, image segmentation object detection, powered by YOLO v11, that's you only look once, and then a speech to text or automated translation for speech to text with Whisper. That is a neural net based application. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to go to the Oracle Cloud dashboard. This is my own Oracle Cloud dashboard, and we're going to create an instance. Now, the instance name doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it in Ashburn AD3. That's just because Ashburn AD1 tends to be the default, and therefore, if there are limitations in terms of availability of resources, we can have trouble creating large instances. So I'm going to be creating a 64-core instance. I don't want to run into that issue, so I'm just going to default to AD3, which usually has no issues having that capacity. Okay, we're going to choose the VM standard A1 Flex image. So first we choose our architecture, Ampere. We choose VM standard A1 Flex. There is also a 2 Flex, and there will also soon be an A4 Flex. But we're going to just use an A1 Flex instance, 64 Oracle CPUs, which is 64 full cores for you to use with 256 gigabytes of memory. And then the image we will use for that shape is going to be an Ubuntu 2404. In the advanced options, I don't think there's anything for us to do. Similarly, in security, we'll just be happy with the defaults. And in networking, we're going to use an existing virtual cloud network configuration. This is what I've made earlier while we're creating the instance. I'll show you some of the rules that are in there. The virtual cloud network is basically Oracle's CSP level or account level network policy. So you can create at the CSP level a firewall that will protect instances. So we need to be able to SSH into this instance, and we need to be able to connect to the demo. So we're going to open a few ports in there. We're also going to upload some SSH keys. I have a couple of SSH keys that I use for public cloud stuff. I'm going to drop those in there. That way I'll be able to SSH in without any issues. The block volumes should be okay by default. And I believe we're good to go. So we're going to create a new instance. While that's creating, it'll be in progress for a few seconds. We'll go into the networking section, and we'll go into any of the network configurations. Will bring you into the virtual cloud network settings. And at the VCN level, we can see what our security rules are. Security lists are basically sets of IP tables rules for more or less like firewall rules that allow traffic through or not. And this is what the rule set looks like for this one. We're allowing port 22 to allow SSH. I, in general, always open port 80 and 443. Those are HTTP and HTTPS. And then we're allowing the 4 ports specified in this container, in this tutorial that we need to access our demo applications, 7860 to 7863. There's nothing more to be said there. So let's go back to our instances and see how we're doing. Now we see that our instance is now running. We have a public IP address. We can connect. There's instructions for connecting to that over a secure shell. You can use the Oracle Cloud console if you prefer, but I like the shell. At this point, I'm going to copy this SSH address, and I'm going to this public IP address, and I'm going to SSH into Ubuntu and this IP address. Okay, so now we are in terminal. I'm going to SSH into Ubuntu at the IP address that we got from our instance. This is the first time we're connecting to this instance, so we're going to be asked if it's the right host. And we were able to connect without a password because of that SSH key. Now, the first thing I do every time I connect to a new host for the first time is I am going to update the repositories to get the latest versions of every packages. We're going to upgrade all of the packages that can be upgraded. And then we're going to follow the instructions of this tutorial. This is going to take a couple of minutes to run. Okay, our system software updates are complete. We're now going to go back to the tutorial. It's asking us to install apt transport HTTPS, some certificates, software properties common, and curl. We're going to use curl to get a GPG public key that we can then use to verify Docker packages from docker.com. And the reason we do that is because we're going to be enabling a repository that we're going to add to the sources.list for our APT. And we're going to say that this packages have to be signed with this key. And once we have that repository enabled, we can again run apt update to pull the packages from the new repository. And then we'll run apt install -y docker ce docker ce CLI and containerd. Then we're going to download the latest release of Docker Compose and install it in user local bin. We make it executable, and then we're going to add the Ubuntu user, the current user, to the Docker group. Now you will notice that when I log out as root, I am not actually in the Docker group. Now I can log out completely and log back in, but I can also shortcut this process by running the command new group docker. And now when I run groups, I can see that this user is actually in the Docker group. So I should be able to now run Docker compose -version, and I verified typos are great, Docker compose, and I verified that I have my software installed as expected. That brings us to the end of part 1 of this walkthrough. So far, we've created an OCI A1 instance with 64 cores on which we've installed Ubuntu 24.04 and which we've updated to install all of our prerequisites, including Docker and Docker Compose. In the next part, we will clone the GitHub repository containing the tutorial that we're following, and then we will start all of the services one by one and walk through what exactly they're doing. We look forward to seeing you there.